Welcome back, students of grade 8. This is Miss Marmon, and today we will be learning from Unit 7 Education Matters. In this unit, we will focus on forming a view and practicing persuasive techniques, looking at a range of non-fiction articles, a satirical poem, and a drama extract. You will transform information to argument, design a poster and a publicity flyer.
Well, the one thing all of us have in common is our rights. Every one of us has the right to survive and thrive, to be educated, to be free from violence and abuse, to participate and to be heard. Now, why does education matter? Firstly, education is powerful. When we attend school or learn something, our brain grow, expand, and our eyes are open. Education has the power to change the world if we let it by allowing everyone to have access to learning. Education also helps us learn who we are, what we believe in, and what role we play in the world. This sense of self is essential to personal growth. Education not only change or affect our future, but it affects families, friends, and communities. As the world becomes educated, it becomes a brighter place. Let us now start with our first topic, that is poster. Today, posters are used for more practical applications such as political campaigns, public health drives, education, and safety. A poster is a large notice or picture that you stick on a wall or board, often in order to advertise something or for decoration. Posters catch the eyes of people and make them aware of a product or service that they would not otherwise have known about. This powerful ability to stick in people's mind can have a huge advantage. Now, there are various types of posters such as event posters, movie posters, advertisement, political, motivational, travel posters, educational or informative posters, etc.
How to design a poster. Perhaps the biggest draw of poster media is the graphics ability to be eye-catching and artistic, but also leave room for text that can have a call to action. If this is your first time creating a poster from scratch, here's a quick guide on how to get started. Number 1. Build your foundation. The first step to making a poster is to put a few things on paper. Every successful design piece begins with the pre-design process. This is where you brush out specifics like the design's goal and objectives. But remember, a poster must communicate a message which must come from a carefully planned concept and idea.
Number 2 is draft and outline. You need to create an outline to ensure any information you are presenting is clear, clean, and concise. It may seem like a good idea to place as much information as you can on the poster. However, less is often more when it comes to posters. The more information your poster has, the higher the risk that it will confuse and overwhelm the readers. Next is adding images. Dramatic and relevant photographs have been a staple of poster design for decades. The right image can give your design a huge boost in visual appeal. In fact, your image can convey much more than regular text, and if you have already identified your brand image and personality, choosing an appropriate photograph for your poster should come easy. Next is adding to your copy. Now it's time to take your headline and details from your outline and insert them into your poster. Now ensure that your text elements match with your images and other graphic elements. Next comes call to action. If your poster has a call to action, make sure it's clear and visible to the reader. The whole point of a call to action is to get people to take action. So it only makes sense to draw people's attention towards your poster. But not so much that it overshadows your headline. Next is slogan. Slogans are always defined as short and brief. It is believed that it takes almost 7 seconds to form a first impression. Short-term memory is shorter than you think. Therefore, slogans ought to be short and brief. Slogans are meant to be memorable and catchy. It may be through the way of a rhyming scheme or humor or pop culture reference, etc. Slogans are not merely a group of catchy words, they are a strategic attempt at creating a persuasive image in the minds of the people. Now your slogan should give the customers or the readers a reason to bother to notice. Some well-known slogan examples are Just Do It by Nike, I Am Loving It by McDonald's, Finger Licking Good by KFC, Because You Are Worth It by L'Oreal. Broadly, there are two types of slogans. First is the business slogans and second is the advertising slogans. Business slogans emphasize the features that set your business apart from your competition. They are also informational slogans. Some examples of business slogans are Finger Licking Good by KFC and Probably the Best Beer in the World by Carlsberg. They showcase the distinct value proposition of the business in order to convey the people the brand's stance, whether it be trusted, revolution, perfection, etc. Next is advertising slogan. It emphasizes on a particular product or service that has been part of an advertisement campaign, instead of focusing on the overall business. Now, the advertising slogans aims to create association between the product's usage experience and the benefit that the customer may receive after purchase. For instance, the following slogans portray how your experience would be after you either purchase or engage with the company's product. Examples: Coca-Cola, Open Happiness. The slogan is Open Happiness. Next is Fruity. The Fruity slogan is Fresh and Juicy. Now, how to create a slogan, or what are the steps needed to create a slogan? Let us look into it in details. First comes a logo. For the maximum effect, pair your slogan with a powerful logo. A logo comes first. Always remember that. Before you start looking for a slogan, always design a smart logo to represent your brand. Ideally, you will work on a slogan and logo simultaneously to create a cohesive, balanced combination. Also make sure that your logo and slogan complement each other and tell a cohesive story. Also take enough time. You need time to collect information while creating a slogan. Always keep it simple, short, original, but it must instantly resonate with the audience. Try to come up with something simple and original. Use few words. Avoid complicated, confusing words that may leave the readers guessing what you are trying to say. Also include one short sentence. The legendary Just Do It by Nike is an ideal example. It's an inspiring message that works well across cultures. Next is use humor. If it's relevant for your poster or the brand, make your slogan even more memorable by adding humor to it. However, you must get your priorities right. If humor makes your phrase harder to absorb, then you can remove it. A slogan with language device such as alliteration, assonance, rhyme, rhythm are always a good idea. Once the reader or the client sees it or hear it on the radio, television, they are sure to instantly memorize it. So always make use of language devices. Also take enough time to select a slogan. Identify which type do you want to stick to. Next we have preposition. A preposition is an important part of the English language. It is used to show a relationship between the noun and pronoun in a sentence. A preposition must always be followed by a noun or either pronoun in a sentence, but it can never be followed by a verb. Now, preposition act to connect the people, objects, time, location of a sentence. They are usually short words which are placed directly in front of a noun. Preposition, like I said, it can never be followed by a verb. A sentence would not make sense without the use of preposition. There are many preposition examples that will make it easy to understand how the parts of the sentence fit together and how the rules apply when it comes to using a preposition in a sentence. It not only adds details but makes a complete sentence. There are 5 different types of prepositions. First is simple preposition, second is double, third is compound, fourth is participle, and last is phrase. Now let us look into what these prepositions are in more details. Simple prepositions are words like at, for, in, of, on, over and under, etc. It is used to describe location, time, or place. For example, he sat on the chair. Here, on is a simple preposition. Another example is respond to emotions. Here, the simple preposition is to. Now, double prepositions are two simple prepositions used together, often indicating directions. Some examples are into, upon, onto, out of, from, within, etc. These are the words that comes under double preposition which has double word. Compound or complex preposition consists of 2 or more words, usually a simple preposition and another word to convey location, such as in addition to, on behalf of, in the middle of, etc. are all compound or complex preposition words. Next is participle preposition. Participle prepositions have endings such as ed and ing, such as considering, during, provided, etc. The dog kept following him home. Here, following is a participle preposition. Then lastly, phrase preposition or prepositional phrase. This includes preposition, an object, and the object modifier. Phrases such as on time, at home, before class, on the floor, etc. These are all prepositional phrase or phrase prepositions. Some more examples of prepositional phrase are I will get to the conference on time. So on time is a prepositional phrase. Next is satirical dramatic monologue poem. Firstly, what is a satire? Satire is the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices. Dramatic monologue. Here, mono means one or single, and log means a long speech or conversation by a single person or by one person. So, a dramatic monologue is where a person speaks to herself or someone else to reveal specific intentions of his or her actions, but he is not a poet. It is a poetic form or a poem that presents the speech or conversation of a person in a dramatic manner. Now, what are the features of dramatic monologue? A dramatic monologue has three common features. First is a single person delivering a speech on one aspect of his life. Only one character speaks. The character tends to direct his emotions towards a listener. The speaker is trying to convince someone of something. Second is the audience may or may not be present. Third is speaker reveals his temperament and character only through his speech. Now, dramatic monologue functions as a tool to give vent to one's thought or feelings, and it provides opportunities for the poets to use powerful words spoken through their characters. Dramatic monologues is a poem in which a single speaker, but he is not a poet, speaks at a critical moment and situation in which he finds himself, and he is seen addressing one or more persons who do not speak, but whose presence we strongly feel. We see dramatic element is to be seen in the speech that is uttered aloud by the speaker, who is a character in a situation and who is seen speaking to other character. These poems are short and compressed, and the reader is called upon to draw a good deal of inference about the character and situation. An example of dramatic monologue poem is from the text that is in page number 97, Head of English, written by Carol Ann Duffy. Head of English is made up of a monologue told from the perspective of the head of English program. The speaker of the poem is a teacher and does not seem to be keen on the poet. The teacher likes the old traditional poems where they rhyme and thinks the poet is a waste of time. In the first stanza, you can imagine the tone to be patronizing and dismissive. This can be seen as the teacher says, a real-life poet with a published book. There is a hint of sarcasm because the teacher sees the visitor as an unwelcome intrusion and a threat to their own expertise. On the other hand, there could be many other different speakers. Now the quote, "Notice the ink stain fingers, girls," suggests that the speaker is telling them off and it's unacceptable for nail varnish to be worn. By this you can imagine that a speaker to be someone with an authoritative role such as the head of English. Now the quote, "a real-life poet with a published book," suggests that Carol Ann Duffy, who is actually the author of the poem, could be a speaker. This is because the word life poet implies that the school have organized for Carol to come in and read her poem to everyone. Now the teacher in the fourth stanza is being dismissive. Their attitude suggests that they do not want to try new aspects of poetry or have their positions undermined by the outsider. The teacher does not want to encourage any new and modern ideas. She wants to stick with the old ways of writing poems and reading of poetry. Now the teacher is undermining the work of the visiting poet by saying, convince us that there's something we don't know. So by this line we know that she is undermining the new visitor that has come to the school. Now in conclusion, I think there is only one speaker, which is a teacher. The quote, sit up straight, suggests that the teacher is dictating to the class that she is still in charge and to pay attention. This is another sign that the teacher is old-fashioned and wants to exert control over the children. Now, many of us worry vaguely about getting things wrong and ending up in court. Courtroom dramas play on this fear, associating us with sympathetic defendants and hence increase the excitement of the case. When defending, the lawyers play to our need for a strong hero to rescue us from harm. When prosecuting, they are the warriors of truth, protecting society from unchallenged evil. We may also associate with judge or jury, enjoying the position of moral superiority and meting out just punishment. The episodic nature of court cases in the clear start, middle and end within a limited time frame makes them ideal for a series of stories in multiple books or across a television series. Now, a legal drama or a court drama presents stories of the miscarriages of justice, such as person wrongly convicted of a crime they did not commit. At times, stories may involve the moral implication of police misconduct, such as placing or tampering with evidence. And the main characters of a courtroom drama don't always have to be lawyers in a courthouse. A film can have multiple personalities in multiple settings and still fall into the category of a courtroom drama. It is in our nature to enjoy good oratory. No genre sets itself up better for good oratory than the courtroom drama. Quite often, everything hinges on the closing arguments, the powerful words that will sway the jury. Now, even when good loses, a courtroom drama can be appreciated because we observe the good fight. Now, the recipe for a great courtroom drama has nothing new to it. What keeps it fresh is the topic, the case. The case has to speak to the audience. It has to involve something that is still up for debate or something that they will care about. So, a courtroom drama helps us to question our assumptions. They will allow us to question the social order. Some examples of courtroom dramas are from the text that is Flying into the Wind, and the others are 12 Angry Men and Lincoln Lawyer, etc. Now, what makes a good courtroom drama is that it has a bit of mystery and a lot of suspense or tension. Even if we know that the protagonist is innocent or the antagonist is guilty, we don't know how the truth will come out. A great courtroom drama has us identify with one or both of the parties so that we appreciate the stakes. It often involves twists and turns that change our understanding as the story unwraps. So a courtroom drama is a fresh topic, the case. The case has to speak to the audience. It has to involve something that is still up for debate or something that they will care about. Next comes publicity flyers. Flyers are handed out on the streets, distributed door to door, through mails, posted or pasted on bulletin boards, etc. Now the purpose of a flyer is to get your prospective customer to take a specific desired action. Flyers are typically single sheet unfolded and are printed on one or both sides. It is used for variety of purposes and are mostly distributed by hand. They are also known as leaflets or pamphlets. They give us the opportunity to capture people where they already are and deliver the most relevant information at the most relevant time. They also focuses on one key messages. The less you try to communicate, the easier your message will be to get across. Also, if you want your flyer design to deliver results, you need to keep things balanced, well spaced, and uncrowded when designing your flyer. Also, create a visual that ensures that your key messaging and branding aren't lost in the design. So, make sure to make any important details or branding elements like your logo, etc. And the most important thing is a headline. It is the first thing people are going to see when they look at your flyer, so it needs to be really stand out and grab their attention. Include a clear call to action on your flyer, which will help maximize the effectiveness of your flyer design and get you the result you are looking for. Also, when you are designing your flyer, make sure it uses all your branding elements like your logo, color palette, and brand fonts so that the end design is something your audience will easily link to your brand. With this, we have come to an end of our unit. Thank you and stay safe.